What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Equilibrium Podcast, episode 8. Bit of a change of, I guess, a release date. We're doing Saturdays now, as that's just way easier than Fridays, as Dev's back at school from med school. And hopefully, I'll be starting work soon. If you guys don't know, I got laid off because of COVID, but hopefully, I'll be back at work soon. So that's gonna be way easier for us. It's going to be a shorter episode today as we've been really busy this week, and we're trying to get one out every week. So it's going to be a shorter episode. We're only covering 3 topics today, which is the 3 main topics really that happened this week. Chadwick, you pronounce it Boseman, right? Yeah, Chadwick Boseman, Jacob Blake, and COVID, obviously, because that's still around. Start with Chadwick Boseman. Before we start that, actually at 9 tonight, on ABC, they're doing a Black Panther running and a tribute to Chadwick at 9 Eastern, 8 Central tonight. So I'm definitely going to be watching that at 9. To me, I'm a huge Marvel fan. I'm a huge Marvel fan. Wait, you supposed to be muted right now?
Oh, my fault.
Yeah, to me, I'm a huge Marvel fan. I've watched every Marvel movie. So Black Panther was a huge, to me that was a huge movie for me. I thought it was one of the best Marvel movies I've seen, and that's just one role. And he's played Jackie Robinson in 42, which is another great movie, and he's done countless other roles. And he did all of this, or like 5 or 6 movies, while having stage 3 colon cancer, which is just makes it seem like he's just like a real life superhero, and it's crazy. Like I was completely shocked when I heard that news. As I'm sure you were too, and everyone.
Um, it shows me 2 things. It shows me how how strong this guy was, and like how he just like lived his life
Yeah,
knowing he knew about this his friends. I'm sure he told like close friends and like family, and they knew about it, and like they did a good job like kind of keeping it under wraps, and he kind of just lived his life like free. And he would be at like you'd see him like at the all-star games like with NBA players. And I remember during the one all-star game like 2 3 years ago, he like helped Victor Oladipo
oh
out
yeah, with a
like one of his dunks stuff. I don't know, man. It's just we're
he
living
seems like
on.
a genuine guy, and like
Mhm.
he
Like,
uh he was just it's just you hate losing someone, but to have like Kobe loss and then him in the same year, it's tough.
yeah. um when Black Panther came out, I remember like the excitement, and especially like amongst like the Black community, because we were finally getting a super. I mean, there have been Black heroes before, but
Yeah,
everyone knows Black Panther is the like the Black hero.
yeah,
Green Lantern. There's Nick Fury and there's stuff like that, but we never had a hero or a movie made about a Black hero that did as well as it did, because it felt like it almost felt like there was a blur between reality and fiction with Black Panther. You almost felt like it was real. Like there was actually
yeah.
actual like Black Panther out there uh, representing Black people, and making us proud, making everyone proud, not just Black people. It just stands out more. We put that on a pedestal in our community.
Oh
Just
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
to see a black face in a leading role and have it do so well and
Just
represent
seeing
such.
how much inspiration it gave young black people, that movie was crazy to see. And yeah, I mean, I hope that they retire the character. Marvel. I don't want to see another Black Panther.
Yeah,
That's Chadwick's Black Panther. Don't cast someone else.
I totally
Um,
agree.
um, I don't know what they're gonna do, but that's Chadwick's Black Panther. Let it be the only let it yeah let that be the last Black Panther movie.
I totally agree. I it, for us it's tough because it comes at a time where all we've gotten is bad news this year, and there's been a lot of
Yeah,
bad happening um, in regards to the black community, with all the deaths and all the social injustice, what just happened in the NBA because of Jacob Blake. All these things are at the forefront right now, and a lot of attention is being brought to it. And then this happens, and yes, it's of course it's sad, because he's a human being, and loss of life is sad, but it's sad to lose an icon in society, like Kobe, like when Kobe died, it was like losing an icon, a superhero. Um,
he's had such an influence on Hollywood, on the
yeah,
Black community and stuff. I mean, even the tweet announcing that he was from his own personal account announcing that he died was the most liked tweet of all time. It just shows how much impact and influence he's had on this world.
yeah,
During his battle with cancer over the past 4 years, he was visiting people in St. Jude, even with his own cancer, smiling, being happy. He's attending NBA games. He was doing this, filmed 4 or 5 movies, action movies too, and he's just yeah. I was in complete shock when it happened. Um, when he died. I mean, no one knew that he had cancer.
yeah.
Um, he kept it under wraps for 4 years. There was a photo that surfaced of him like 3 or 4 months ago. He looked like it's really like thin in the face and stuff.
Mhm.
And people were like, "Is he okay?" People
People
thought
like joking around about it too,
people were
like
joking around saying like, "Oh, he's like a
stuff like that, because you don't
crackhead." Yeah,
know what someone's going through.
and people were like, "Oh no, he must be going for a new role or something like that, and he's losing weight for a role."
Yeah,
Nah, but that was that's due to chemotherapy and stuff. So um, he stayed so positive during his chemo treatments and throughout the 4 years, and he would want the rest of us to stay positive through these tough times right now, and it's just sad to lose someone like that. Said Black Panther is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's not only Black Panther; he's a very talented actor, and he's produced so many good movies over the past bunch of years. So definitely watch his movies.
damn man. Oh, no. When I saw that news, it just uh, this year sucks, yo. This year sucks. It's like nothing can go right, and then like this happens, and I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I feel so defeated right now when it comes to
Yeah,
like,
it's just that felt like a nail in a coffin right there.
yeah,
Like, um, or anything. The past week or two felt like a nail in a coffin with that and Jacob Blake.
mhm.
Just like 2020. Like, come on. Like we still got like how many months left of 2020? Like 4 or 5, like
We got 4 months left.
4 months left
Mhm.
of 2020.
I-
Like, geez. Um. Well, yeah, he's this probably will be out around the same time of the tribute tonight on ABC. But if not, and you happen to listen to this before it goes live, watch the tribute. It's a Black Panther showing, and then an ABC tribute of Chadwick Boseman. So I'm gonna be tuning in at 9 Eastern. I'll be there watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have on that topic. I mean,
Um, so let's move on. This is a very sad, like,
damn, this is a
very depressing. It's depressing, man. Just
yeah, this week's been tough.
right now. Um, I guess we could talk about Jacob Blake, and I've been talking to a lot of people about Jacob Blake, and I've been getting on my social media and commenting about Jacob Blake, um, and I just want to start with I cannot stand for people's insensitivity on this issue anymore because I just don't get it. Um, why is it that whenever something like this happens, we are trying to paint this like bad picture of this person as
Right,
if he deserved what he got? Why is it that we're talking about? Oh, he had a warrant out for his arrest. He had a restraining order. He was wanted. He had a warrant for domestic violence. If you want to talk about that, that's a separate issue. That's something different. Um, I denounce that. I don't. I'm not saying he. Um, I'm not saying he is a saint. Nobody's saying he's a saint. I'm talking. When we talk about police brutality and police encounters, of course, when police show up, police are showing up to a situation that is out of order. So you expect the person that they're dealing with to be out of order, right? In most cases, that's how it's supposed to be because a lot of Black people get pulled over and stopped and harassed for doing nothing. But let's assume police arrive on scene. Police are arriving on a scene
yeah,
that's already out of order, right? You expect the person, the subject, the non in the situation, the citizen, to have done something wrong, right? So why are we like sitting here and saying, "Oh, well, he had all this stuff that he did, he deserved"? No. During police encounters, when a police officer is encountering a subject um, that is suspected of partaking in illegal activity, whether the subject is white, Black, Asian, Hispanic, or whatever, that police's job is just to subdue that person, arrest that person, and let that person have their day in court. Police officers are not the judge, jury, and executioner.
right. I
Uh,
wanna I wanna read the post we posted
mhm.
um on the Equilibrium Podcast Instagram account. Um, you wrote the use of force continuum is a standard policy of law enforcement agencies. Its purpose is to provide a guideline for officers that are engaged with subjected civilians out in the field. The idea of force continuum is that there are several levels of action and response. For every act of resistance taken by the subject, there is an equivalent act of control that is to be taken by the officer. The officer shall not elevate the level of control unless the subject does so. Jacob Blake should not have been met with this level of control beyond the level of hand to take down techniques.
Mhm.
That
That's
just
in their
sums it up right there.
that's in their training.
Yeah,
Most of them get. I know somebody who went through Philadelphia police academy training, and that is a part of their training. They learn what's called the use of force continuum. Basically, if I come at you with my fist, you have to come at me with your fist.
all right.
You give me a command and I don't listen, then you elevate your force level to um hand to takedown.
Mm,
So it should never go from oh he's there's no excuse for when people say he wasn't complying. Non-compliance does not mean get shot 7 times in the back.
Yeah, that's yeah, that I don't know how why it results to that. It's yeah, the little photo here, it says physiological intimidation by the subject, and then that's officer presence. Verbal noncompliance is verbal direction by the officer. Passive resistance is soft, empty hand techniques. Defensive resistance is hard, empty hand techniques. And then active aggression is when you intimidate the weapons. And then on a whole different level is when you actually use deadly force. Um,
Yeah.
he wasn't. He was at a verbal noncompliance, which is
Mm-hmm.
verbal
That should have
direction.
been, yeah.
And
Well, what that means is the officer gave a verbal direction. The subject exhibited verbal noncompliance. Once the subject exhibits verbal noncompliance, the level of force and resistance is elevated. So once that verbal noncompliance occurs, um, the officer should then use soft, empty hand techniques. If this is met with passive resistance by the
yeah,
subject,
it's like a
then
whole.
then it elevates to hard
Yeah,
empty hand
he just went
techniques.
straight to deadly force. Like
Went straight to deadly force from
just from
verbal direction.
verbal. Yeah,
So he skipped 4 levels of this continuum and
yeah.
went straight to deadly force. So it's in their training, man. So when people say, "Oh, they need better training, fund police training," they're being trained to not do what happened to Jacob Blake.
It's like they're not being trained properly. Like
They are though. What you can only tell somebody how to do something so many ways. You have to be able to execute that though. It's like in the NFL you have coaches. You have coaches that have been coaches for 30, 35 years. They obviously know what they're talking about. They tell the players what to do. They give you a playbook. You study the playbook, and when you get out on the field, you do what the coach tells you to do. But
right.
ultimately, if you fail to do that, it's not the coach's fault, it's your fault because you didn't execute what he told you to do.
Yeah,
Training is there. You have to execute that though. And I think that it's gotten to a point that they're just they're just blatantly not executing. I don't know if it's I think it's in the person's heart to shoot somebody the way or kneel on somebody's neck the way
yeah. You don't learn that from someone to blatantly gun down someone or kneel on someone's neck. That's in your like desire to do that. That's you.
what is happening is this is how we see it, Ethan. At every level, at every period in this country's history, there has been a force that we believe has been made to do mass crowd controlling of Black people. That's what we're believing. You know, that's and it's going to be true. You look, when we first got here, you had slavery. Slaves were controlled in every aspect of their lives. Had slave owners. We get whipped when we were out of order, and then we moved on from slavery. And after slavery, we had what was called the Jim Crow era, the Jim Crow laws, making it making a lot of aspects of life that are normal now illegal.
Yeah.
Segregation, legal for Black people to buy homes in
Yeah.
certain areas. Um, illegal to go to school in certain areas, go to certain schools, attend certain colleges. Um, that whole Jim Crow era of segregation. Then you had KKK come up, lynching of Black people, Black people getting beaten, spitting on, Emmett Till getting beaten for talking to a white woman. Um, you've had these entities throughout this country's history that have been designed to control Black people. and it's gone from slave owner to then, Jim Crow law being um, enforced, and then the Civil Rights Act. Once the Civil Rights Act happened, the Civil Rights Act was enacted and passed by Lyndon B. Johnson. There wasn't any, you know, slave owner cracking the whip on anyone, on us per se,
Mm.
but we feel like the slave owner has now transitioned
The
to
law, the law
police
enforcement.
officer now.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in a different form factor
Yeah.
now. You get what I'm saying?
Like a modern, yeah, it's a modern day slave owner.
Yeah. And that's how we feel. It's like here in Philadelphia, there's the nice part of town, uh, very expensive restaurants to go eat at, a lot of shopping in the area. It's called Rittenhouse
Yeah,
Square.
Rittenhouse. Yeah.
There aren't officers patrolling there 24/7, but if you go over West Philly, they're always there.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, out at one of the out at the protests when they were going on, I was down there. One of the girls shouting on the megaphone. She said it best. She said, "Why don't you patrol Rittenhouse Square like you patrol my block all the time? Because you guys are looking for something to be wrong." In
Yeah.
my,
They're looking for it. Yeah.
you're looking for an excuse to. I watch videos all the time, and it'll be like a simple traffic stop, and like there'll be someone watching the traffic stop from across the street, and they're like looking at the officer, and he's just talking to the person. The officer's like already like on his gun.
Mm.
Like it's like, bro, like what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Just so eager to
Like
just so eager to, get to that like
I
point.
read this tweet about a white guy. He was driving his car and he got a call against him that he was carrying deadly weapons and stuff like that. And the cops came and stuff. They were surrounding his car and everything. But he was explaining in a tweet how he was happy or he was lucky to get his life go on with his life after that. And he knows that if he was a black man, things wouldn't have been as easy for him. I like he explained it better in a tweet. I'm not gonna go find it, but he was explaining how black men are just way less fortunate. I guess like the wrong word, but like way less um, just white people. They have white privilege. As simple as that. And no, I mean it's
Well, we
just
know these things already, Ethan.
yeah,
Like it's so obvious that all right, we know this is going on. What the hell are we gonna do about it? What are you gonna start? What are you gonna actually start doing about it? Unfortunately, there are people out there. When I get on Instagram and I look in the comment section, or I get on Twitter and I look at the replies, there are people out there saying, this doesn't exist. Oh, he should have complied. Oh, he they genuinely think like the, like this like racism or systemic racism isn't an issue, and that's where I begin to kind of lose faith on the issue, because there are always going to be people out there like that. What what reels me back in and gives me a little tiny bit of hope is that there are people. I think the majority of people out there are, and I'm being optimistic by saying this. I think the majority of people out there are more like you, that are willing to listen to people, that are willing to
well,
find out what.
just
What?
last week, some doctor commented on our TikTok video and said Obama did nothing for Black America. Trump 2020. Obama was the first president to build cages for immigrant kids. That's some doctor commenting on our Instagram video. I mean, not Instagram video, TikTok video. It's just
But
like,
see, I feel like I can't help people like that. Like
yeah,
he's a there's such things as I call them intelligent idiots. Like he went to school, he's a doctor, he did everything that he needed to do to be a doctor. I can respect what he did because I'm in the process myself. But even with all that education, his mentality, his mindset still like allowing him to think those like silly
yes,
thoughts. And there's like nothing you can do to help people like that or to get them to realize um, that they're wrong. Joe Burrow said it best. How can you um, how can you hear people complain about something and tell you about something and you just dismiss it as nothing?
right,
You're basically people are sitting here crying out to you, telling you, "I'm being oppressed,"
yeah,
and people are basically like,
yeah, just,
"No, you're
yeah, just ignoring
not."
it. Yeah, it's like,
Um, people are just uh I don't know. I'm upset. I've talked about this so much this week, man, and I'm just over it. I talked about it with my friends, and we're just over it. We're tired of like waking up and seeing people that could easily be like
yeah,
me.
yeah,
Uh,
that could be you. And
Bro, I've been in a situation. You remember back in college where I got into a situation where I had to deal with police. I was by
yeah,
myself late at night. Um, I think about that situation all the time, and there was a lot of cops, and there was one of me, and that could have been ugly. What if I would have made the wrong move? What
right.
if what if I wouldn't have complied to an order they gave me? Would I have deserved to die that night because of that? No.
No,
When someone tells you when a I shouldn't even use this as an example because there are people that deny this stuff too. I was gonna say when a girl tells you that she got raped, and 98% of those allegations end up being true, there are still people out there that will say, no, you didn't, or like victim blame. They engage in victim blaming. They tell the girl, oh, it's your own fault that you got raped, or they'll tell black people, oh, it's your own fault that
yeah,
you got
Jacob Blake, it's your own fault.
like just because someone has a past doesn't mean the officer shouldn't do
Right.
their job. The officer should do the job the same way with a convicted rapist as
Well,
uh
like that one guy
you know what I'm saying?
who was who gunned down last week, that one white guy who where was it at?
Kyle, Kyle Rittenhouse, the
Yeah,
17-year-old kid.
yeah, and he was just walking around the street with an AR-15, right? And they didn't gun him down.
There's a double standard, bro. Everybody knows this already, man. They took Dylan Roof to Burger King after he shot up
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Charleston.
like
When they arrested Ted Bundy back in the 70s, they didn't shoot him on sight, and he raped hundreds of women.
right.
And when they caught when they caught the Boston Marathon bomber, they didn't shoot him on sight. When they caught the shoe bomber, they just there's so many examples of white people doing horrific, terrible things, and they don't get shot on sight. No, they shouldn't get shot on sight. I'm not saying that they should, because that's not what should happen. Everyone should be taken in, and everyone has a right to their day in court. That's what this country is about.
Mm.
Proven You're innocent until proven guilty. That's what this country is about. That's what our legal system is supposedly about.
That's what it's supposed to be about. Yeah.
Give Jacob Blake a chance to go to if you're so outraged about uh his past, his criminal record, give him a chance to go um to court and defend himself. Nobody knows no nobody in the moment knows that. I'm sure those officers didn't know, oh, you have a domestic violence past, or he wasn't even they weren't even there for him.
Yeah.
They were there to break up a fight. Two women were
Yeah.
fighting.
Yeah.
They weren't there for Jacob Blake. He just happened to be there.
Just happened to be there.
And then people say, well, he was reaching for something. They let him walk around the car, open his door, bend down. You could have stopped him before he got to his car door.
Yeah.
There were like 3, 4 officers on scene. You tell me 4-on-1, you couldn't take the guy down. Like, you couldn't at least take him down.
Yeah, there was like 2 officers right behind him as he was walking by the around the car, just right next to him, and then they just saw him open the door, and then that's when a cop just fired 7 bullets into his back.
You wait until he opens the door.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying nobody's saying, oh, Jacob Blake should have been left alone. Nobody's saying that. I'm just saying, if Jacob Blake's white, same situation, he's not getting shot 7 times.
Yeah, he ain't getting shot once.
If me and you do the same crime, Ethan,
You're
worse.
100% more likely to get shot than me.
Yeah. So that's my point.
It's like they treat.
Blake should have been left alone that day. Nobody's saying that. What I am saying is, once you engage in interaction with a police officer, the treatment should be uniform across the board,
right,
for everyone. So
it's like they treat you guys, like black people, like they're terrorists. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's exactly. And then they find something in our past to use to justify what they did.
Yeah.
That's like saying, oh, well, Osama bin Laden was right for what he did on 9/11. There was probably a couple pedophiles in those buildings.
Right.
Does that make any sense? No.
And like you said in a previous episode of the podcast, some of these people have had to do what they've had to do because it's like a circle of life down in Philly and Chicago and other places. Like, they have no way out because there's no money in those areas and stuff like that. So a lot of the time they have to do this stuff.
There's no economic prosperity. Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to get into systemic racism again right now, because that's a whole.
We've talked about that before, and I'm sure we'll talk about it again.
It is, everything that you see today is a result of that, though. Everything that you see today. I was talking to a girl last night, pretty cool girl. Probably get her on the podcast. I won't reveal who she is. Pretty cool chick.
You'll see in the future.
Yeah, you might see her in the future. Well, who knows? Yeah, she's also from the UK, and she was talking about gun control in the UK as opposed to here. And she was like, "Why do you guys still have guns? Like, shootings are down whatever percentage in the UK, and it's because we don't allow guns in the UK." And I told her, "You're right. Ideologically, you're right. The problem with that here is just that I feel like guns have been injected into our society in a very deep way, to the point that we're at a point of no return. Like, it'd be
literally
very, yeah. Like, it would be, even if you repealed that law, it would be very, very difficult to go back, like to get all the guns off the street, to stop the violence completely.
Right, and it's still, yeah.
we've
be
crossed the point of
a lot of money in a very long process, plus the black market and stuff like that. So
exactly. It's just we're too deep into it.
it's yeah, too deep.
There are a lot of black people that own firearms that aren't willing to give theirs up either. Because it's like,
Form of protection. But
why are you about to ask me to give mine up, but you police officers walk around with guns? I got to find a way. I have to protect
yeah,
myself. So we're just. I had to explain here that we're just too deeply ingrained into gun culture to go back, in my opinion. A lot of people on the left think it can be done. I don't think it can be done, but that's my opinion. Um,
um,
to end on the Jacob Blake stuff, it's gotten to a point for us where we're just throwing our hands up now, and we don't know what to do. Everybody's mad at the NBA for stopping play. People are mad at the NBA for
yeah,
stopping. It's like,
dude,
where are you?
sick of this shit.
Focus on what your priorities are. Why are you sitting here mad in Instagram comments, commenting on Twitter, on all this stuff, talking about the NBA? Why not talk about why the NBA sat out?
Yeah,
Right? Like, people are just not focused on the right thing, and it's not. Maybe they are focused on whatever they want to be focused on. They're purposely ignoring the real issues
yeah,
here,
they're ignoring the real issue.
or they're fine with, or they're okay with how things are now. Because I think some white people are out there, and they know what is happening with police and black people, but they don't want anything to be done about it because it's a form of crowd control for them.
Yeah,
It's a way to hold people down in society while you're still able to build up.
mm-hmm.
This is a part of oppression. This is those when we talk about um the 400 years of oppression, and I use the analogy, it's like going up a skyscraper, using the steps, um, and one person has shackles on their feet while trying to do it, and the other person doesn't. Police brutality is an example of like those shackles that are on our feet,
Mm-hmm.
holding us down, holding us back, making our progression slower than the rest of society, than white society specifically.
Right.
And people are okay with that.
Uh, that needs to be a change, and one way to start the change is to vote in November. Use your right to vote. Do your research and vote for the right person. Um, they opened most, I think, was it all or most NBA stadiums that they're now voting places to vote. Um, uh, please go vote. Please exercise your right to vote. I'm voting this year. Do your research, vote for who you want to vote for, and that's how we can start.
Trump, by the way, I want
What
to
is
say
that?
that it's not just about Trump.
Yeah,
Like, make sure you pay attention to who your senators are, who your mayors are, who your
yeah.
deputies
It's
are.
not just yeah.
Like,
Research.
get
We research all the ballots and make an educated choice about from your research and stuff. A lot of people go in blindly and stuff like that to voting booth, and they just check all the Democratic boxes or check all the Republican boxes or whatnot, not doing any research and stuff. This is really the time, and this is the time to do your research and get the right people in office and Senate and stuff like that. Um, yeah, this week's been rough. Wow. Um, what else? Yeah,
you're not fired up already. You should be.
right.
there's just too there's we're just being failed by this like form of government right now. It's not working out right now. I don't know if it's any specific political party that's better or worse than the other, but this system is just not working right now. We need an eventually I think we need an overhaul. We need a new system. This two-party system is killing us right now because there's people feel like they have to fall in line with
Yeah,
one party and then like support everything that party like wants or puts forth. If we got rid of that and voted for people based on the idea that they have and not the party they represent, things would be a lot better. This
yeah,
form of government is,
completely agree.
is okay with, apparently okay with 182,611 deaths due to COVID-19. We're averaging 1,000 deaths per day. And Donald Trump has an RNC convention rally inviting hundreds of people on the White House lawn without anyone wearing masks. That's ridiculous to me, yo.
Yeah,
Like, what are we doing here? Like, what kind of like what's the imagery that you're like trying to like present? It's not. It's you got the police brutality. We as Black people have repression. We're getting hit hard by COVID. The whole country's getting hit hard by COVID, and we're just sitting here and we're being failed by this system, And it's only gonna change if we like push to overhaul the system because this system is not working out for anyone right now. 182,000 deaths. That sounds like a war. That sounds like a wartime. That sounds like World War
right.
II.
Yeah,
Like,
how many Americans died in World War II?
let me look that up.
Yeah,
How many Americans died in World War II? Oh well, we're not there yet. That was almost 500,000 Americans died in
yeah,
World War
but
II.
still, like in
Well,
comparison, like a virus and a
yeah, that's a war though, where people are trying to kill each other at
yeah,
least. Um, not 9/11. 9/11. There was 3,000 deaths on 9/11. So that means every 2 days we're getting the same amount of deaths as 9/11.
right. That's
About every 2 days.
how many confirmed cases now?
Over 5 million.
Over 5 million.
Um, hold on a second. Iraq War. Iraq War American deaths. 5,000 deaths in the Iraq War of Americans. The
How many?
Iraq War.
5,000?
5,000.
5,000.
So every 5 days, we're getting the same amount of deaths as the Iraq War. Um, let's do
Vietnam.
American deaths in the Civil War. Let's do Civil War. There were uh, hmm, there's a lot of different numbers on the Civil War. They're all like estimations. I guess they like had trouble like
Yeah,
keeping back
and
then.
that was yeah.
But
It was
y'all get my point.
yeah,
Y'all get the point. We're losing a war amount of people a day, basically.
yeah.
We're losing a war's worth of people every couple days. That's ridiculous, yo. Almost 2,000 people, almost a quarter of a million people
This is
dead.
literally worse than the World War II, because World War II lasted what, like 6 years. This has
That
been
was, yeah, that was over.
another
Our death rate is a lot higher than that,
yeah.
right?
The death rate is a
Like,
lot higher than a world war. Damn, just like think about that statement right there. The
yeah,
death rate of COVID-19 is higher than World War II for Americans. That's a that's that's a hard that's a crazy statement right there. And
Mm-hmm.
like just like come on man, like so yeah, like so stems back to just please make an educated vote, educate yourself, vote for the right people because we shouldn't be at 150,000 deaths right now. We uh we should have be listening and like we keep saying it was only supposed to be for like 4 weeks quarantining, wearing a mask, doing all the stuff that we were supposed to do, and we would have been over the hump.
Real quick, we lost 33,000 in the Korean War. So like 33,000 is like nothing compared to like where it is now.
Yeah.
Um, the Vietnam War, we lost 36,000. So in the two wars combined, they lost around 70,000 people, and two wars combined.
All right.
We've lost like three times that, four times that in like a couple months.
Yeah, in the less time period. Yeah.
Like what? Come on,
And
man.
these humans in those wars, they're trying to kill each other. Humans are trying to kill each other. Like, come on.
All right. Uh,
Uh. Yeah. Pretty. Sad episode today, like we said at the beginning, but it's needed. These episodes are needed. Um. Short episode as well. Every Saturdays now we're gonna do the podcast, and they will be longer than this. This is by far our shortest episode. But we've been very busy this week, like we said. Moving it to Saturday too. So be sure to check us out. Be sure to be on the lookout for episode 9 next week. I don't know what's gonna happen over the next week in the news, but you know, like we said at the beginning on the first episode, we don't shy away from that stuff. We're the realest podcast out there. We're gonna talk about anything and everything in the news, no matter what. So be prepared for next week. We'll be back regular time now, which is Saturday. We posted earlier than it is today. Dev had a little too much fun last night.
yeah, I feel it. I'm gonna 5 a.m.
Huh?
I'm gonna go to bed till 5 a.m. Like 5:30.
Um, so a quick touch up. The NBA's started the second round. Just a quick touch up of sports. Raptors Celtics was the first second round game today. Celtics won. Lakers look good. Clippers won today. They beat the Mavs. Shame because Porzingis is done for the was done for the year. But other than that, that's really it. NFL season's supposed to start up soon. We got a fantasy draft on Saturday, Friday, right? No, Saturday. We got a fantasy draft on Saturday.
Try to become a two-time champ.
Two-time champ. I won last year, by the way, because I'm the greatest fantasy player of all time. Beating them at their own game. A British kid beating.
Should be a two-time. I should be a two-time champ actually, because I should have won the first year too. Remember that random kid won, Bryce's friend.
Oh yeah.
But that's because I got screwed over, because like all my players sat out
Yeah.
weeks.
So yeah, we gotta set that up where they don't sit out. So it ends on week 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something to look forward to. I guess I'm sure there's going to be in the news a lot about coronavirus and NFL. So be sure to be on the lookout for episode 9 next week. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.